1-888-746-9890. They're always adding so many services and centers here. Every year this hospital gets better. Right now, we have 30 patients, 30 young patients, who are in the Blood and Cancer Center, which is right here on campus. So we're looking for 30 miracle makers. When you become a miracle maker, not only will your money go to the hospital, but we'll also send 30 activity books to each of these patients who are in the Blood and Cancer Center. Make these kids feel a little bit better as they're being treated here at Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley. So we want you to call 1-888-746-9890 and make that happen. Make these 30 kids get activity books that are really adorable and keep their mind off of their treatment. 1-888-746-9890 to be a miracle maker only takes $10 a month. Right now we have Mom Sarah and little daughter Rebekah here who stopped by our broadcast. And Sarah, tell us a little bit about Rebekah and just really what happened to her and how long ago.
Almost 3 years ago now, we went to the hospital with a baby who we knew was coming a little early. She was 5 weeks early. What we did not know was that she had a hole in the top of her heart and a hole in the bottom of her heart, so an ASD and a VSD. We had her at Trumbull. She was there a whole whopping 8 hours or so before she was transported to St. Elizabeth's. She stayed there for 2 days. During those 2 days, she was hooked to, I think, every machine that was ever made. It seemed like that anyhow. And there was actually a point during those 2 days when everyone was silent behind us. She was hooked to so many things, and they had called in doctors and specialists. And Chris and I talked about it later, and we really thought that the wonderful doctors and nurses there were going to tell us, listen, there's nothing else we can do for her, and we'll let you hold her and say goodbye to her. And it was the scariest feeling in the world to be sitting there thinking that and knowing that there was absolutely nothing we could do but sit there and pray and watch her. And so a few minutes later when they came to us and said, listen, we're going to transport her out to Akron if that's okay with you. We were thinking, yeah, anything is okay with us compared to what we had been thinking. And so we spent 68 more days out in Akron before Rebekah came home to grow for about 6 weeks. And then she went back for open heart surgery. Open heart surgery on a baby is something you would think would be very scary. And it was, but it really, we knew from having spent those 70 days in the NICU that no matter how scary it was, there would be someone there with us who knew what was happening, who could be by our side and take care of us as her parents and her. To know that there was a nurse or a doctor or the janitor who cleaned her room every day would say, oh, how's she doing? And check on her. The man who signed us into the visitors table, we felt like every person there, from the cashier in the cafeteria to the surgeons to every single person that we saw, knew her and wanted to help her and us as much as possible. It was just something that we're so grateful for now, looking back. We wouldn't want to have had a perfect baby. It was such a good, growing, learning experience and such an opportunity to trust in the community around us for support, to trust in the doctors and nurses and each other, that we really wouldn't have things any other way.
Wow, and to talk to her now, Becca talks about princesses and puppies.
And trucks and everything else that she sees going by. She's a happy, healthy, wonderful, almost 3-year-old. In fact, she has a little brother, Sam. They were 2 years and 3 days apart, and we would not have ever considered having another child had it not been for the experience, the incredibly wonderful experience that we had at Akron Children's Hospital.
And that's why we call it the Miracles and Promises Radiothon, because miracles happen here every day.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
Wow. So give us a call, 1-888-746-9890, so that you'll hear more nice stories like this in the future.